Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Livewire TV. Livewire TV is a place where we like to talk all about inspiring conversations that's really going to ignite your business growth and take your mindset to a whole other stratosphere. Livewire TV is a part of Livewire Media, where we do corporate videography and video marketing. Now, each week on this show, I bring you guys an incredible guest who's really an expert in their space. They've been studying their craft for years and years and years. And I'm super excited to bring on this week's guest because I've been following her for such a long time. And I know her content is absolutely incredible. And guys, if you want to clear your mindset, clear your energy, and get through those glass ceilings in your life, you want to stay tuned in for this one. This is going to be a juicy one. So Denise, welcome to the show.
Yay, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. What a fantastic introduction. I'm excited. I'm like, I need to speak to this woman. Oh, it's me.
So Denise is all about helping people to clear their energy pathways, but more specifically to help them actually do that and achieve their goals. And what I love about Denise's approach is that it's not a strictly speaking woo-woo type approach. For all of you logical thinkers out there who need kind of a bit of a science to back up your woo-woo kind of thinking, Denise absolutely knows her stuff. So Denise, how did you get into this whole kind of personal development, spirituality, business growth type industry?
Oh, wow. So, it started when I was a kid. I was always helping other people, whether they wanted me to or not. I was just always helping. And when I moved to the United Kingdom, like 37 years ago, I started working in public sector, and I would just find myself coaching people. And then it was 5 years ago when my daughter said, because I did all sorts of coaching qualifications and masters in positive psychology, and like everything has always been about development. But 5 years ago, my daughter said, why don't you do your coaching online? I was like, how do you do coaching online? It just seemed such a foreign idea to me. But I started doing that, and it's just evolved from there. And the more I started doing business stuff, the more I started realizing that the reason some people weren't getting results was because energetically they were not in the right place. So that then led me on the path of studying how do we then shift the energy to enable them to get the results that they want.
Yeah. Can you clarify that a little bit more? Because this whole concept of energy, it might be a totally new concept to some of the viewers out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we live in an energetic universe. It's not, it's not news. This is the way it is. And every one of our emotions has a frequency that's attached to it. And actually, I'll show you this graphic I've got, and I really need a better version of it now. But it's called the Map of Consciousness, and it's been the work of a man named Dr. David Hawkins. It's like 30 years of work gone into creating this map. Yeah. So this map, you might not be able to read it, but I'll explain it to you. At the bottom of the triangle are the lowest frequency emotions. And those are guilt, shame, despair, helplessness, hopelessness. And at the top of that, you've got emotions like gratitude, freedom, empowerment, appreciation, enlightenment, peace. So you've got this whole range of emotions. And taking a really long story and making it short, when we're children and we're experiencing the world for the first time, and we experience something that's traumatic, it gets locked into our energetic self. Like at a cellular level, we hold on to these things. And then we don't ever get rid of it. And we keep perpetuating the stories of, I'm not good enough, I can't make that kind of money, like whatever the story is. And nobody escapes this. If people think that they escape trauma, they are so wrong. They're in denial. Everyone has some level of trauma, whether it's big T trauma or little t trauma. Everyone's got trauma. And what I realized with the work that I do is when you can tap back into the root cause of where that negative emotion came from, the one that's holding the person back, they then rise up the scale. It's like having a ball and chain released from your ankle, and suddenly you sort of float to the top. So that's kind of in a nutshell how energetics
Oh,
work. And
yeah.
then, yes, so you start vibrating at a higher frequency. One of the frequencies that enable you to become more expansive as a person. At the lower end, you contract as a person, and at the
Yeah.
higher end, you expand as a person. Does that make sense? Did I say that clear enough?
Yeah, I feel like you did. But guys, those of you who are watching at home, if you feel like you need some more clarification around that, let us know in the comments, and Denise will be more than happy to clarify that further for you, because she has just basically given you a crash course in energy right there. So, and now a lot of people, like, let's be honest, business owners, we have challenges. Some of them are inevitable. They cannot be avoided, right? And they do get us down. They get us emotionally bogged down. And then on top of that, we've got like personal life crap that's happening.
Mm.
And it's almost like it's beyond our control, right? So what would be your advice for people to manage their energy and maintain that positive mindset, even when life is dealing them a load of rubbish?
Yes. Well, it's recognizing that emotional intelligence and self mastery, it's an inner game, and the inner game is the key to the outer game, because nothing nothing can be that bad when you've mastered your inner game, and when you can give meaning to those things. Like when something abysmal happens, you can find the meaning in that and think, okay, how am I going to transmute this into something more valuable? How am I going to use this, instead of letting it be like staying in victimhood? And I'll talk to you about these 4 levels of consciousness, which I think your viewers might really enjoy. Yeah, it's very, very cool stuff, and they can identify where they might be on the different levels of consciousness. But that emotional mastery is absolutely key when you recognize that you're feeling a certain way, to think, okay, all right, I don't, this is a choice. This is a choice. I can feed this. I can feed this negative emotion, and I know it's going to end up in a bad place. Or I take a deep breath in and go, I'm going to choose again. I'm going to choose again and choose a new outcome, because you literally choose a new outcome.
But then sometimes, like, you don't feel like doing that in the situation. And I've experienced that myself, where it's almost like you have to trick your mind into thinking, actually, I do want to think that new train of thought instead of that old one, don't you? It is a little bit uncomfortable at first, isn't it?
Well, it's because the behavior that you're doing, that, like, you will have had a lifetime of reinforcing a
Yeah.
belief. And so you've practiced that pattern so much, and it's like, congratulate yourself. You've mastered getting yourself into this state. And just think, if you can master getting into one state, you can master getting into another state. But we forget that we have that potential to learn more. Our minds are what's called neuroplastic, which means that when we feed it new information, we can rewire it. And this isn't just hocus pocus either. This is like stroke patients who lose part of their brain. It rewires, and then they can regain the power of speech and able to walk again, and that because your brain rewires itself. So
It's crazy how that works, isn't it? But Denise, I want to talk about, I think, what this topic that's on a lot of people's minds right now, especially with what's been happening over the last few months: money. That taboo word of money. Now, a lot of people have so many limiting beliefs around money, don't they? And they never really quite know how to get over that. And when they do get over it, it's almost like they feel like a sense of greed, or they've had to earn it, kind of thing, right? And I'm sure in your experience, well, I know in your experience, because you're an expert in helping people to clear pathways to get more money. Like, what would be your advice for people who are looking to kind of break through that glass ceiling of money and expand their mindset with it?
I would absolutely say to understand everyone has a money blueprint. And what I mean is that, you will have observed, your family of origin, whether you were raised by wolves or raised by a loving family, like whoever you were raised by has their own money story, and you will have been impacted by that story. And you can have 10 siblings in a family, and each person will have their own blueprint based on what they observed, even though they observed the same thing. So
Yeah.
one person who was brought up in poverty might go on and become a millionaire because they think I'm never, ever going to be that broke again. Whereas others might be like, I don't know how to get out of this. We're stuck. We're victims of circumstance. So people absorb and then they replay it in the way that they choose to replay it. The problem is most people, oh God, I wish I could quantify that when I say most people. It's such a vague term. Most people I've come across have disempowering beliefs about money because, we could all recite it. Money doesn't grow on trees. And in New York, it was like, what do you think? My name is Rockefeller. I was like, I don't even know who Rockefeller is. How, my dad was my dad's favorite thing. What do you think? I'm made of money. And so these things become our disempowering beliefs, and we recite them over and over again until they become so entwined. It's like we don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about how you brush your teeth. It becomes ordinary, and these beliefs become ordinary as well. They just become normal, and then you don't question them anymore until you get to a point where you think, how come my bank balance has got nothing in there? How come I'm broke? How come money comes in but it never stays? How come no matter how much I want to raise my prices, I always back down at the last minute and give it at a lower price? How come I pay my staff more than I pay myself? Whatever the story is, it's going to go back. It's going to be a root cause in childhood without a doubt.
So true right there. But how can people tap into that kind of past experience? Because we've heard of this thing of like quantum leaping, but let's be honest, most people don't know how to bring up old memories. They don't know how to bring up something that's in the subconscious mind, let alone the super subconscious mind. And by the way, guys, this is not an insult to any of you guys out there watching this. I'm saying this with love because a lot of people, they consciously think that, yes, I don't have that limiting belief. The subconscious mind says that limiting belief is still there. Then the super subconscious mind, which is a bit deeper, that's where the root of that limiting belief actually comes from. And it's amazing how our minds kind of trick ourselves into believing something that's not actually happened, right?
Yeah. So here's where it's interesting, because consciously, our subconscious mind, for those of you who are not familiar with this, your subconscious mind, it's a concept rather than something, it's not something you can take out and put it on a table, but your subconscious mind is the storehouse of all of your memories. And it's responsible for, some people say, even 98% of your daily behavior. So it's all subconscious. So we think we're grown-ups, but we're not. We're actually like 8-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids running the show. Like our child is running the show, and we think we're just not. So your subconscious mind, let's put this in perspective. So this is literally my crystal ball. So if this is your conscious mind, your subconscious mind is a grain of salt. Your conscious mind is a grain of salt next to this. Like, your subconscious mind is so much bigger and so much more powerful than your conscious mind. So the conscious mind is that little, like, tiny little grain of salt next to this. Yeah. So the difference is that grain of salt is trying to overcome this monster. And I say monster, it's not a monster. It's there to protect you. But when people hear, a lot of people go, they try willpower. Like if they want to diet, right? I'm going to try willpower. Willpower is saying, I'm going to use my conscious mind to force my subconscious mind to do something. And then you end up losing, not losing the weight, but losing the battle, because you can't, it's not a fair. So you need to bring them into harmony. So the way you bring them into harmony, because you want the subconscious mind on board, you want to be like, we're all in this together. We're not fighting. We're partners here. Hypnosis is one of the most undervalued, underused, underappreciated tools. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's phenomenal in enabling you to tap into that subconscious mind, to go back to the root cause, clear the energetic connection there, release it from your system. When it's released from your system, it's like releasing an air from a balloon. It will never come back again. But most people don't ever take that chance to get rid of it from their system, because it's I've had people say to me, who am I even going to be if I get rid of this?
Yeah. I felt like that the first time I did deep work like this. You do physically feel different, don't you? Like I felt like like I've never lost weight in my life. I've only ever put on weight, luckily. But I literally felt lighter. It was crazy. And then it's amazing how when you clear your pathways, as in like your limiting beliefs, your subconscious negative energy, etc. It's amazing how much the universe will bend over backwards to make things happen for you.
Absolutely. And this is because you become, like, in the world of law of attraction, they talk about becoming an energetic match for something.
Yeah.
And we're always an energetic match for something because we're always attracting. Like people say, how can I manifest? We're always manifesting. We just don't always manifest what we want because energetically, and this comes back to the conscious part, consciously you're thinking, I really want to earn a lot of money. I really want to be successful. I really want to fall in love. I really want to whatever. But you're battling with this subconscious mind that needs to release. And that's why you feel lighter after those sessions, because you've released a lifetime of things from at a cellular level, because emotions don't exist here. They exist in your body.
Yeah.
And when you let them go, you set yourself free.
Now, what about for somebody who wants to clear their pathways, but isn't necessarily somebody who's easily, like, say, into meditation, for example?
So there's like talking therapies you can do as well, but it really, I'm a huge fan of allowing yourself to go deep, to find someone that you trust, because you have to trust someone, because you don't want to just lend your subconscious mind to, and you'll know that as well, because you simply won't allow yourself to be hypnotized by someone you don't trust. It's just not going to happen. And that's why some people say, well, I went to hypnosis and it just didn't work. And there could be a number of things. Number one, they might not have been ready. Number two, it might have been the wrong person for them to be working with. So don't dismiss it. I would say do the deep work, because hidden in that sea of subconscious is the answer to everything. Journaling is another really beautiful way to tap into your subconscious. So when you journal, oh, good evening, Shaquille. Great to have you here. So when you journal, you tap into your subconscious. So when you journal, it's about asking a smarter question. So the question might be something like, if I were to know the earliest incident of me feeling this way, if I were to know the origins of this limiting belief, if I was to know, what would that be? And then literally, without worry about punctuation or anything else, just journal, just write it out, because your subconscious mind will start to reveal. But it can become quite a lengthy process until you get accustomed to it. And then you start going, oh, got the answer. So journaling is pretty powerful as an individual exercise.
And I think it also helps to have a coach or somebody like yourself to help us clear that energy, because we don't know what we don't know, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where can people get in touch with you, Denise?
So I am on Facebook. That's my sort of favorite social media platform. I look like me on my Facebook. Just look for Denise Mortimer on LinkedIn, and I'm on Instagram as Denise_Mortimer. My website is denisemortimer.com. Just drop me a message in there. Happy to speak to anyone. One of my greatest joys, Rahini, is seeing people like set free from the chains that they've been living with, because it's such a game changer, and it's such a life changer. And it's like you've been reborn. You still have knowledge, but you've been reborn. You've been like, I got a new chance at life now.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt and everything.
Amazing.
So guys, also sign up to Denise's mailing list as well, because I guarantee you will not regret it. She sends beautiful messages about clearing your energy and helping you to accelerate your success ultimately. So definitely do that. I believe you can sign up to that through her website, which I believe she's going to send you the links in the comment section after this interview.
I shall do, yes.
Do that. Sign up to her mailing list. I guarantee your life will be much better for it. So, Denise, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your brief moment of your nuggets of wisdom, because I know this
My
is such a
absolute
fast
pleasure.
subject, isn't
Thank
it?
you so much.
And guys, thank you so much for watching at home. If you have any questions for Denise after watching this, drop them in the comment section below and be sure to follow them up for you. And if you found value in this video, share it with your network, because you never know who this is going to impact and who this is going to help. Have a great evening, guys. See you next Thursday, 7 p.m. GMT time.